Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Royal Instinct. Today we're going to be watching the comeback of the century. Jasleen Singh is making a comeback. She is back on the internet, which will rile up many of her enemies, many people who are against her. Okay, she went viral back in November, I believe, November, December. Because she decided to start playing the content game. Okay, she wanted to be somebody. She wanted to make her mark on the internet. She is married to the comedian Akar Singh, and she, made wild statements about popping a pussy, about being in white boy frat houses. Um, um, that she gets nostalgic about how she used to eat buffalo chicken wraps. Okay. She is a hilarious one. Okay. But I like the fact that she's back. Okay. Like, because, even though, I'm sure she didn't have the best of times, her content made a lot of people happy, right? The whole internet riled around her, right, to hate this one woman. And to hate this one woman and to hate on her husband, right? It was just hilarious, like how wild the story went. Okay. I mean, ideally you wouldn't want your wife to be going on the internet exposing her past, doing all sorts of wild shit before she met her husband. And like, look, man, you had a past, great, keep it private, keep it in history. Okay, you don't have to go out there exposing yourself. But also some of the hate she got, like, I was just like, this is just crazy. Okay. But this take, right, this isn't a hate on her. This isn't, a defense of her. This is just a deep dive into her story, into what that means, of why this even happens. Okay. Normally, right, pre-internet, right, someone like Jasleen would have married maybe Akash or a guy like him. um right, and no one would have known about her. Okay, she could have had a past, she couldn't have, but she would have been silent. But today we live in the age of the internet. Okay, the internet is the newest country in the world. The internet is a new universe. Okay, even if you think, you are somebody who lives in Australia, right, you can watch and access content, right, live content straight across the pond in America, in wherever you are in the world, right? And you have to also, take a note of how much you use your phone, right? And then even, you WhatsApp, any type of messaging, emails, right, is back and forth, between various countries. Okay, whereas before you used to send letters to communicate, now you can get instant access, FaceTime anybody across the world, right? So physically we're all still here on earth, right, but our psychologies are getting wired to be on the internet, right? And that is where we are in the world. Okay, the elites like this power, the elites like this new technology, and they are using it to their advantage. They are using it in a way that they want you totally locked on the internet. Okay, they are designing 15-minute cities where they want you in your bedroom, right? And the only no friends, right? They want you to be lonely, and they want you to remain somebody who is easy to control. And the way that they control you is by feeding you shit through the algorithms. The way they control you is by keeping you occupied, by keeping you docile, and keeping you keep feeding you brain rot, right? The whole Jasleen drama, it was literally brain rot to the max. It was just it was childish gossip, right? But it also gave, some people some joyous moments. So, even, this is a message to Jasleen, if you're watching this, all right, because I'm sure you are, all right. um you have to take, take stock of how many people you made happy, right? They were hate watching you, right? And to be at the end of any hate, right, I'm sure it's not fun, right? um but right, you made a lot of people happy. Okay, and that is something to be very proud of. A round of applause for Jasleen for making the internet happy, for keeping it, for keeping it positive and light. Okay, you have to understand that the world is balanced, right? So for the amount of hate that she got, right, the amount of haters she has, the amount of people that absolutely despise her, right, she will receive the equal amount of love from somewhere else. Okay. You know, and if you want to be on the internet, if you want to make yourself known on the internet, it comes with the territory. Okay. And you know, it is better to piss a lot of people off, right? Because once you piss a lot of people off, then you are seen for who you are. Right, people will rally behind you, and the people who support you and love you will come to your aid. Okay, the more hate you got, right, the more love you will receive in the end, and you will be the benefit. But you have to be somebody who's able to take that hate. Okay, you should welcome it, right, and don't deflect it. Right, but now we are going to dive into her latest podcast edition. Okay, where she discusses the internet drama and what happened. Let's dive in.
Welcome to Conversations with Chai. I am Aram Chaudhary, and today I have with me, I feel like it doesn't really need an intro. I have with me the Jasleen Singh.
Thank you so much.
It's Lil Baby.
Thank you for.
And even this guy here, right, he is using the clout that Jasleen generated, right, and being the first person to get back on the internet. Okay, like even though I don't think his podcast is that big, you know, it's still relatively new. He's going to get a lot of traffic just because of Jasleen. So he is, you know, I think this is a defense of her, this podcast that we're about to watch, but it is also he's using her to boost his ratings, to boost his views, right? So it is all a you know, race to the top. It is everybody using each other to gain more fame and eyeballs on yourself.
For having me. I'm like so excited to be here.
I am so excited to have you, and I probably shouldn't say this, but I rarely, in a long time, I haven't been excited to do a pod.
Aww.
He's excited because he knows he's going to get a lot of views, right? Yeah, if his podcast, you know, brings in right now, let's say 1,000 views per thing, per video that he publishes right now, he's about to skyrocket. Okay, so he's excited because he knows that this will, you know, launch his channel further. His algorithm, you know, will be set alight.
Which is why I haven't potted.
Yeah,
like people obviously have seen, I haven't potted in a while.
Yeah,
because I truly felt like not engaged by anything.
Yeah.
So when you hit,
so he wasn't engaged because he knew he wasn't going to get many views, right? He wasn't getting many views, so he got disheartened. But now he was like, "Oh, I've got this girl, right? This is his make or break moment."
I was like, "Yo, let's do this."
Yay. Oh, that makes me so happy.
I guess a good starting point before we get into.
One thing about her, you know, like, because I watched a lot of the videos breaking her TikToks down, right? I don't have TikTok. You know, I believe, you know, maybe the Chinese government spying on me if I download TikTok onto my phone. You know, I allow the American government to spy on me. I allow the UK government to spy on me, but, you know, I draw the line on Chinese communists. You know, but you know, when she comes across, because I watched also the Flagrant episode where, you know, they done the expose, deep dive into the drama. She comes across as such a sweet, innocent girl. Okay, and then, you know, you watch her TikToks and she's literally talking about like sucking dick, popping a pussy, doing the wildest, craziest shit.
All of the messes.
Shit. Yeah.
All of the messes, which we will.
Yeah.
I want to get to know like you, right? Like away from like headlines, away from everything else, like who is Jasleen Singh? Like to your friends, to family, like who is Jasleen Singh?
Yeah, I mean, to my friends and family, I'm just like a very happy, bubbly, like very fiery girl.
By the way, what the fuck is that on the tit? Right? I don't know if you can see it. Let me enlarge it. Like she, like she. Okay, like so the internet went wild, calling her a whore, calling her all sorts of names, right? And literally calling her internet's biggest whore, right? Like that is what she's known for. Okay, and now she's trying to whitewash her reputation, but she comes on wearing like, I mean, obviously it's a tank top. It looks like she just wear a bra, right? She's got a jumper on, but she took the, you know, she's exposing her shoulders, right? So it looks like she's literally just sitting there in jeans and a bra. But she's got like like yellow nipple tassels on her top. Like, you know, like if you're trying to whitewash her reputation, like this isn't the look she should be going for. Like she needs to have a PR agent. She needs a PR manager. She needs somebody to tell her what to wear, what not, what to say, what to fucking do, because this is wild, man. Like this, you know, already like she is drawing attention. Like if it was just a plain one top, I probably would have ignored it. I wouldn't have commented. But like because it's literally covering a fucking nipple, right? It is hard to miss.
Like I just love spending time with my family, with my friends, with my dogs. I'm very much a homebody. I do love shopping. I love Pop-Tarts. I love cereal. Like just very basic. I love watching the same things over and over again. So to me or to them, I just feel like I give like youngest sister energy everywhere I go because I just.
Okay, and it's very, you know, this is who she wants to be. She wants to be a younger sister. She wants to be like, you know, oh, just a happy-go-lucky, eating Pop-Tarts, bubbly type of girl who, you know, is no threat, is just very simple, watches, you know, very basic. She describes herself as very basic. Okay. So she's not deep, you know, she doesn't have many insights. She's just a very, you know, bubbly, very basic type of chick. You know, so she literally could be someone in your family. That is how she wants to be seen. That is how she's trying to portray herself. But then she says the wildest shit, right? Claiming that she is popping a pussy in white boy frat houses. I mean, just that, just to, just to, you know, be commenting on, you know, on yourself, be like, yeah, I like popping my pussy, like, you know, I mean. Let's keep it classy. Let's keep it PG. But, you know, she decided not to. She needs a reality check.
Can't help it. But yeah, I just feel like I'm very like happy-go-lucky to like the people that know me. Even though I do have like severe anxiety and OCD, I'm still like baseline very happy. And
she is a borderline personality disorder. Okay, she is probably bipolar. She is all over the place. Look, man, like she even says that she had some trauma, you know, that she is seeing a therapist, that I mean, she's all over the place, right? And I think, you know, her husband needs to get her on lock. Her husband needs to, you know, really plan where the fuck she's going with her life, okay? Because on one hand, she's this happy-go-lucky person. Then she's, on the other hand, she is playing hardball on the internet, right? Exposing her private life, exposing herself, ruining her husband's career potentially, okay? Because I don't know if you know this, but Backlash Singh has not appeared on Flagrant for over 2 months now, okay, since the whole Jasleen thing. And they're trying to say that, you know, it's because he was on tour. You know, he was in Australia, I believe. He was doing a world tour, which coincidentally, you know, maybe they're trying to get the heat off because the comment section was killing him, right, at Flagrant. And, you know, I wonder whether he will return. I wonder whether he can even be back there. If he's not back there in the next month, then like it's like he's definitely trying to duck and dive, okay? Because he doesn't want to expose more heat onto him with what happened. But then his wife is now doing a media comeback.
like just very like smiley.
I got that, right? Like
Yeah.
outside of like obviously like, you know, the internet headlines are the internet headlines, right? But from everybody that I talked to, like we just saw it, right? Right before we came in, right? Like your engineer for your podcast, right, is here before. And like he stays an extra 15 minutes just to say what's up to you, right? Because he genuinely wants to see you.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's always a good indicator of who that person is,
Yeah.
how people
It's a great indicator knowing that the person that's going to pay your fucking bills is staying around to say hello to their boss. Okay, so he's trying to make it like that it's because she's been friendly, but that, you know, that guy's being paid by her, so he needs to show his face to, you know, make sure that paycheck keeps coming.
how people receive them, right?
Yeah. I think I have like a very warm energy, but I'm a Leo sun and moon, so I don't know if
So she thinks she has a warm energy, but the internet hates her. They hate her energy. They hate her narcissistic tendencies. They don't buy it. They believe it's an act. That the internet believes that she is a nefarious character. Okay, that she is somebody who is power hungry, money hungry, and she will be ruthless.
You know about all the risings. My Cancer is rising, so I feel like when I talk to people, I try very hard to make them feel comfortable. And like, even if they say crazy things, I'm like, yeah, like I just will agree. Like if I don't.
I mean, nobody out crazies her, right? She has the craziest takes. She says the most wildest shit. Okay. And I think that is what it is. I think there's a competitive nature in her to outdo everyone, right? And so if her husband's a stand-up comedian saying crazy stuff on stage, which is why he gets paid, by the way, okay? He gets paid to say crazy shit. And then she comes along, she's trying to outdo him, right? I believe that they are a couple who are in competition with each other. She is trying to outdo him. She can't take the fact that, she probably sees his dumb side at home, right? That, just being a lazy goof, right? Just goofing around, being very silly. And she was like, how's this guy so fucking successful, right? So he's getting paid for being funny, right? And she's like, well, he makes it look so easy that she thinks that she's got a chance of doing it, which is why she is out there showing herself on the
Don't know you because I'm like, I just want you to feel comfortable. But it's funny because I think I present a little bit differently on the internet, so that doesn't always come off. But I definitely am someone that like uses humor a lot to cope with like serious things or trauma. So I think sometimes people can kind of take.
I mean, look. Stand-up comedians can get away with using humor to cope with the trauma, right? But like, if she's got trauma, then fucking go see a psychiatrist, get that shit sorted, right? Don't halfway through your therapy sessions decide that, okay, I'm going to become a influencer now, right? And expose yourself, and then you can't handle it, right? Like, it is absolutely crazy what she is doing, right? She is somebody who needs serious help. She is somebody who needs to be well looked after, okay, before she is ready to face the internet, right? And what do we do here on Royal Instinct, right? Like, look, man, like she's got the right attitude, because you need to be on the internet to survive in the next phase of humanity, in the next phase of evolution, right? Because that is where everything's moving to, okay? But she should do it. She needs to get rid of her self-doubt and all the insecurities that she has within herself. She needs to get rid of those fears, right? Which is what we do here at Raw Instinct. We remove all self-doubt, we remove all fears, we remove all the barriers that are stopping you from allowing you to express your personality 100%, because that is the way that we become experts here on this channel. That is how we become kings. That is how we start kingdoms. That is how we win.
Take it the wrong way, because I can just say very crazy, like hyperbolic things, but I think it's just a result of like me being very unhinged, or like who my husband is and all that.
Why do you think that is? Like, let's start here before we go into like the specific internet cases, right? Mm-hmm. Because I think even through like our brief communication, right?
Yeah.
I think I have like a pretty good discernment of like people,
yeah.
right? And I never got like bad energy from you,
yeah.
right? I'm like, are there certain things that I can see to an audience
yeah.
come off a certain way?
Right.
Yes. But I'm also like, honestly, if I was just kicking into the crib and talking to my friends, that's probably how the internet would perceive me too.
Yeah.
And I think I said this on a podcast when I discussed like everything that was going on. Mm-hmm. I said that, right? I was like, yo, like, honestly, sometimes like all the honesty, people say that they want that, but they don't really want that, right? Like even me on this, right? Like, I like to say that people can get a good glimpse of who I am through this podcast, mm-hmm. but realistically, you probably are getting like 60% of who I really am, because you don't want the full.
And but basically, like, she played into her character, she played into the wild shit, because she wanted to go viral, right? And she thought she'd go viral, that she would get cheered on, especially by women. She knew she'd get guy haters, right? She knew walking into it what she was expecting to get a lot of male hate, okay? But the reason why she couldn't cope with it in the end is because she was getting so much female hate as well, okay? A lot of women were attacking her. A lot of women were saying what she is doing is wild. She's disrespecting her husband. And then that is when if you are a woman, if you are a girl boss, you are trying to ride that wave of modern day feminism, right? The whole thing is, if you're a woman, right, that you are up against the patriarchy, that you are up against men, that and she was expecting men to hate her, okay? So that was fine with her. But when women started coming after her, she couldn't handle it, because the sisterhood wasn't protecting her. Right, the sisterhood wasn't protecting her. Females weren't protecting her, and she didn't know what to do with how to handle it. Okay, which is why she then went quiet. Why she had to retreat and backtrack to whitewash her reputation. Okay,
100. Why do the full unfiltered bit?
I don't know. I just feel like when I first got into this, I was like, I just want to be myself 110%. And the audience isn't.
Look, man, if you're gonna be yourself, right, you don't have to share everything that happened in your past, okay? Like, you don't have to share every shit that you take. You don't have to share every fart that you make, okay? You have to, when you get on the internet, especially now, in an age where people are waiting to sacrifice people like her. Okay, people are waiting to dig deep into somebody's past, into somebody's life, to tear them up into pieces. Okay, she is a sacrificial lamb in this case, right? What she should have done is, she needs a message. There needs to be a reason why the fuck you even existing on the internet. Okay, like, her husband is a comedian. His existence is comedy, to make people laugh. Okay, like, you can't come into it being a little sister, giving a little sister energy, and then also trying to make people laugh, also trying to be, a little bit spicy, a little bit controversial. You can't try to attack all these different areas, right? You need to figure out, what is your life purpose? What are you here to do on this earth? Okay, what is the thing that you can speak about most, right? That you can be an expert in, okay? Because we need more experts, we need more leaders, right? I mean, she went fucking viral. Okay, but she could have done it in a way where she went viral due to her special insight into whatever field it is. Okay, like, I'm sure she's a smart girl. I'm sure she's got very, very knowledgeable things to talk about. She knows a lot of shit about some stuff. All right, if she's been through trauma, all right, she could talk about her trauma. Okay, but then, like, don't try to be the she tried to play the villain online, right? But then when she got hated for being the villain, she couldn't take it. Okay, so she needs to refine her angle. She needs to know who the fuck she is, so she can show the world who she is.
Stupid. And I feel like when they see, like, my friend told me this, she said you can feel someone's energy through their content, if they're genuine or not. So I just always, first and foremost, was like,
and that's the thing. So I agree with her. People can feel people through the internet, right? You can feel someone's energy, someone's aura. You can feel what that person's about, if they're genuine or not. Okay, but the thing is, the way she was talking is, and the way she was acting, it felt like to the whole world, it felt like that this is a gold digger, that this is the person that's using her husband, right? And her husband comes across as this very, like kind of a passive guy who allows things to happen to him in life, right? And then he uses that material to make jokes. Okay, which is, look, if that's how you want to live your life, go for it, right? I'm not going to fucking criticize anybody how they make their money, right? And then obviously it's working for him. Like, look, if you're a comedian, you are a clown, right? You are a clown. It is like, I think Kevin Hart had a special which was called "Laugh at My Pain," right? Like, think about that sentence, "laugh at my pain," right? The man's in pain, right? Comedians are in pain, right? But what they do is they are able to narrate that pain, right? They're able to talk through that pain, right? And make it very lighthearted and funny. Okay, so they can talk about very, very serious topics, right? But make a joke about it. But the thing is, right, when the audience walks away, that then you don't feel like you've had some deep insight. Okay, you literally just laughed at his pain and then paid him what, $50 or whatever. And then you go home with your life, and you're like, look, that guy might be rich, but at least my life ain't as shit as his. Okay, and a lot of things in life, look, man, everybody has a hard life, right? Even if you are in poverty, even if you're rich, everybody comes across obstacles in their life, right? And a lot of the time we want to look at other people and be like, well, I'm pretty fucked, my life is pretty shit, but at least it's not as bad as that guy, right? And that is why people go on the internet. That is why she became such a viral sensation, right? So, she needs to have a good look at herself.
I just want to be genuinely myself, because if I try to be any other kind of version of me, it's going to fail and it's not going to do well. So as long as I can be true to myself and my person.
So she's now telling you her beliefs, her values, that she wants to be true to herself, that she wants to be authentic, that she wants to be somebody who is totally aligned with her as a person, and showing the world who she is, you know, showcasing what she's all about, which is fine. But then you also went on the internet telling everybody, right, the wildest shit, right? So if what you're saying is true, that yeah, you are, you know, showcasing your authentic self, but that involves popping a pussy and sleeping around in white boy frat houses, then what do you expect? Okay, like the slut shaming. Women say, "Oh, men slut shame women." Okay, they do, right? But the worst slut shaming comes from other women, right? Because when men have beef with each other, right, it starts off as like verbal abuse towards each other, right? But it escalates into physical confrontation. Okay, right? Because if you don't fucking shut up, I'll punch you in the face. Literally, like, it's very quickly it gets confrontational and physical, right? With women, they don't get physical like that. Okay, it is more about reputational damage. It is about dragging her name and her reputation, her standing in society down, right? So if they see a woman acting like a whore, they're going to call it out, because, right, it makes it, your whorish behavior makes the other woman who's calling you out, it makes her look like a fucking saint compared to you, right? And everybody wants to look better than everybody else, right? Physically look better, and actually reputationally, right? Societally. Okay, so you literally put a target on your own back. You literally got two arrows pointing at you. Be like, look, no, hit me. You were asking for it, okay? And maybe that's not what you thought you were doing, but that is how the internet works, okay? Like, even when I make this video here, right, like, with people watching it, right, I get hate comments all the time now, right? Okay, but I don't fucking complain about it, because for every one hater that you get, you're gonna get someone who fucking showers you with true loyalty, true friendship, true love. Okay, that is how the world works. The world needs to be balanced, right? And here on Real Instinct, we don't give a fuck about haters. Okay, we send two middle fingers out to the world. We are ready for combat. We are ready for war. Okay, we are ready to conquer the world. Okay, the world is going to shit right now, right? When you have people, you know, doing all sorts of shit in the Middle East, all sorts of shit in Ukraine, all sorts of shit across the world, right? Hurting many people, people who have, that, you know, their livelihoods are getting taken away by AI. Okay, so the world is going to shit, but we are not here to complain about it. We are here to offer the world a new solution, a new alternative. That is what we are about. That is what we are doing, and we will win.
Then I feel like, okay, I'm doing my best. I'm doing a good job, and it just felt most authentic to who I was. And it's not like as much of like a dump and upload as people think. Like, there is some curation. Like, I try to be, you know, sensitive, but I think sometimes
she wasn't sensitive when she was saying that shit. Okay, she wasn't sensitive at all, the way she curated her image online.
I've maybe missed the mark, but like, in hindsight, I also feel like sometimes if people want to take you in a negative way, like, they will, you know? So.
I
A lot of it, like the thing what I'm getting already is that, so this thing has happened on the internet with her, but she hasn't actually done any self-reflection about what she was putting out there, right? The energy. I mean, she talked about energy at the start, right? So she hasn't spoken about the type of energy she was putting out. She was putting out whorish energy, okay, right? It wasn't female empowerment that she was putting out, okay? She wasn't saying like, oh yeah, look, I'm a modern woman, right? These are the issues I deal with, right? This is how I deal with them, right? You know, with class and integrity. Like, she was literally saying, she was doing the dirtiest, right? She was doing the dirtiest shit. She was exposing the dirtiest things about herself. Okay, not the tough times that she dealt with, maybe an abusive father like she had. Okay, like when her parents got divorced. Like you know, like how did you cope with that? Okay, how did you navigate such a thing? Okay, which I think I would have respected that about her. Okay, oh, okay, like she's had these tough things happening in her life, right? And this is how she navigated. If that is how she portrayed herself on the internet, I think a lot of people would have had a lot more respect for her. A lot of people would have liked her more. Okay, but she comes on the internet and says the dirtiest shit, all right, about sucking dick, about fucking popping a pussy, right? And then she pretends, right? And this is the worst thing, right? Then she goes on Flagrant podcast and pretends popping a pussy is just dancing. Like, then why not use the word just dancing, right? Or twerking, right? Even twerking, right? Like, a lot of people find, disgusting or vulgar, right? But twerking is pretty tame in today's age, today's society, right? You could have just said fucking twerking or shaking a booty, right? But you had to be vulgar and use the word pussy, popping your pussy, right? Like, if you Google, right, like Ludacris had a song about popping pussy, right, which is basically about strippers, okay, when they bend over and they popped, and basically they're popping their ass so much that when you pop it, you can see the fucking pussy, right? They're popping their pussy, right? So, welcome to Raw Instinct, where we discuss popping pussy today. No, but basically, so Ludacris has a whole song about popping pussy, right? He goes, puppy pussy, pussy popping, and like you must know what the fuck it is, what popping a pussy is, right? Like, so don't act dumb, don't act like and then she tried to act dumb to us, like we would be, oh, okay, like, yeah, she didn't know what popping pussy meant, right? Let's let her off the hook. So no, the internet's not going to do that to you.
Absolutely agree, because I think like that is like one of the reasons that I was like, oh, like we'll get along, right? Because when I see like
he's definitely just trying to fucking find a friend. He's definitely trying to find way into her world so that he can benefit off the fame that she got.
Influencers or creators, the reason that I don't fit into the space, and I'm sure you also feel that way, is because I do feel like it's like overly curated, right? I see most people.
He's saying he doesn't fit in that space. Okay, there's 10 billion people in the world, right? Like, if you can fucking get like 100 people, 1,000 people to watch your shit, okay, you're doing well. Do you get what I mean? Like you're doing well at that stage, right? Like, how many people? Like, not everybody needs fucking millions of followers, because look, as Jasleen's already pointed out, that she had millions of fucking people watching her shit, hating on it. She couldn't handle it, right? So maybe just go out there and try to find the people who really want to fuck with your shit. Okay, this channel isn't here to get many views. This channel isn't here to get many subscribers. Okay, we are looking for great people. I'm looking for like-minded people who understand what it is that I'm doing, what it is that I'm saying, people who want to change the world. Okay, now, I know that there aren't many people willing to go out there and be active and be somebody who is putting themselves out there, somebody who is willing to take risks, okay? Because the world needs more superheroes. The world needs more leaders. That is what we're all about. We are becoming leaders. We are becoming the new people who are in charge of the world, and we will dethrone the evil people who are currently running the world.
And I'm like, I've been around these people long enough to now understand, like, yo, out of all the ways that you present yourself on the internet, you are not that.
Right.
Like you present yourself as this, like,
right. So now they're bashing people who curate a image to make themselves look really like amazing on the internet, right? And then he's criticizing them that you're not that. Well, she curated herself to look like the worst person in the world. And then she's saying she wasn't that, but she really values authenticity. Like, so she's all over the place. It's like, do you like playing a character online? Okay, like, did you go purposely out your way to be a character online, right? Or be hyperbolic, or be, or really, amplify the worst aspects of yourself? Or are you just somebody, right, who is just willing to do anything and say anything to make people happy, to try and get viral? Okay, because that is what you've done. That is how it worked for you.
Kind, wholehearted like person, but behind closed doors, you honestly kind of scummy.
Yeah,
right?
It's like the Ellen DeGeneres thing. Like, you're kind of a.
I mean, she makes Ellen DeGeneres look like a fucking saint. Okay, Ellen DeGeneres, literally was running a sweatshop behind her. Behind production, the production team was literally a sweatshop. Okay, where she literally had slaves, where she literally had people. It was like fucking. If you ever watch Oliver Twist, like Fagin's little fucking orphanage, or the orphans that he had, picking pockets for him around London. That is literally Ellen DeGeneres. Okay, she is literally, and I mean, she's in the fucking Epstein files. Possibly, implicated herself with eating and sacrificing, eating the blood of children, doing human sacrilegious sacrifices, eating human flesh. Apparently, they all came together and ate Stanley Kubrick's body at his funeral. Like, they ate parts of his body. So that's the type of person Ellen DeGeneres is, okay? And you literally overtook her throne. You made her look like a saint.
Piece of shit, And
I think that disillusionment comes from seeing those people. And like, I think if you kind of like go against the grain a little bit and are like, you know what, I'm just going to be me.
Yeah.
It's going to rub some people the wrong way.
Yeah, clearly.
And I guess now let's get it.
Look how happy she is that she clearly rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. She is very proud of herself. She's glad because she knows, she's hoping that shit is past now, that now she's able to make a comeback and make a great return.
Into rubbing people the wrong way.
Yeah.
I guess the thought, so obviously Myron does what he does, and then the incels do what they do.
And just saying it was incels. It wasn't just incels, by the way, right? It was everybody, right? It was family men. It was church-going people, right? It was women, right? So the sisterhood didn't even support you. Feminists didn't even support you, okay? They were like, why is she just being so degenerate? Okay, why is she being so vulgar, right? Why can't she, that there was nothing aspirational or inspirational about your life that you were sharing. Okay, it was literally just the dirtiest shit. Okay, and then and then you were like, oh yeah, like, the happiest moment of my life is my day is when my husband isn't home. That you were shitting for the person who was providing for the lifestyle that you got. Okay, and great, you were with him during the tough times as well. But then there's no need to shit on him like that, is there?
My question, because I've never gotten to ask somebody who was really on the receiving end of the internet and to that scale, like you were, how did you feel? Like, it was like a slow burn, but it really wasn't. It was like a firestorm. Like, I had people hitting me, being like, yo, what do you think?
Yeah.
Right?
I remember because you asked me this question, like, what is it like to look at like think pieces and people analyzing your marriage and your personality? It feels weird and it feels surreal because you're like, but you don't know me. You don't know anything about me. You've never talked.
Yeah, but then why put yourself on the internet? If the whole thing is, if you want to be an influencer, if you want to be a content creator, that you have to tell the world who you are. You have to and they can only go off what you say. And if you say that you are popping a pussy, right? It's a great phrase, popping a pussy. What were you doing in your 20s? I was popping a pussy. If you were popping a pussy and that is what you were telling the world, that is all they're going to know about you. Okay, why don't you tell them about the good stuff in your fucking life? Why don't you tell them about your trials and tribulations? But you straight went in with the dirty, degenerate shit because you thought that would help your brand, that would help your views on the internet.
Talk to me. Like, you're taking the intention of this video in the complete wrong way.
Yeah, I mean, she's telling people to fucking, sit there, right? Watch your TikTok, right? Which is infuriating a lot of people, obviously. And then they're going to go home and journal about it. They're going to sit there and dissect it. Well, I wonder what Jasleen meant when she said that she was popping a pussy and feeling nostalgic about not being able to sleep with white guys anymore. Like, what? Like, where do people have time for this, right? We live in a modern world. We live in a fast-paced world, okay? So if you are able to go out there and say the wild shit that you were saying, right? There's no fucking... nobody has a time for you, right? That they're going to go home and journal and meditate on what you're saying, okay? Because it's not profound anyway, right? They're going to literally say, look, that's disgusting. This is why you disgust me. And they're going to tell you because that is what people on the internet can do. And look, if you go on the internet and you tell people shit like that, right? If you expose yourself like that, right, and people hate you, you're going to have to take it. You're going to have to take the L. You're going to have to take it on the chin, right? Like, if I'm making this video, I'm sure some people won't like it, right? But that is the risk I'm taking. I don't give a fuck, okay? But it comes with the territory, okay? So I don't get why she is so surprised. Why is she acting like, this shouldn't have happened? It is the exact thing that should have happened.
And I mean, this obviously goes without saying, but the misogyny was like really crazy.
Now she's blaming the misogyny, but the thing that got to her most wasn't the misogyny, okay? Because she was expecting the misogyny. What got her most was the feminist take, okay? It was the take of other women coming after her, because that is what really, really got under her skin.
Because obviously we know it exists in our society, but to see it so rampant and like full force and just like unapologetic.
I mean, if she's complaining about misogyny, right? But then they also call the haters all incels. Okay, so you incels means involuntary celibate. Basically, they're so fucked in life that they can't get any women, right? So you're literally judging a person, right? So she wants to be dissected and analyzed and know all the nuances, but all the haters are just incels and misogynists. Okay, so she's using that. This is what I don't get about her. Okay, she's using wide brushstrokes to paint the haters as misogynists. Okay, as incels, but me, when I say popping my pussy, I actually mean that, oh, just dancing. Like you deserve all the layers to your thing that you're saying, but the people who are coming after you are just one thing. Okay, they're not. They don't. That you're not allowing the same nuance onto your haters as you are. So then, why would you expect any fucking different actions from them? Okay, you are a hypocrite in the way you are handling and seeing your haters.
There, I was like, oh my God, like this is a real fucking thing. And it's like, it was bizarre to me because I'm like, my husband can go on stage and literally.
So she's about to say that her husband can say all this wild shit, but she can't. Well, first of all, he's a fucking stand-up comedian, right? He gets paid to do it, right? And people hate his work as well, right? Some people hate his shit and they complain about it. Okay, but he knows that comes with territory. He gets hecklers, he gets all sorts of fucking abuse towards him, right? But he can handle it, right? Why can't you see that you're not your husband? You're not a stand-up comedian, you're not funny, you're not nuanced like him, right? But why do you think that you deserve the same treatment?
Literally has a joke in his special about like getting a hooker isn't like cheating, it's just outsourcing, which I really.
Yeah, which is funny because it's in the special, right? But if he was to just be like, oh, in my day-to-day life, this is how I view the world, that I like to get hookers because it's just outsourcing what my wife doesn't want, right? It's a fucking setting, right? If you say it on a comedy podcast, right, and they do it on flagrant, people watching it know that he's joking. But if you're going on TikTok and on one hand you're talking about how to do your fucking makeup and eyeliner, and the next video you're telling about fucking popping your pussy, you can't differentiate on that fucking platform. So you either are a comedian, right, which is fine, be a comedian, and we will now we get it, okay, or you want to be this lifestyle influencer, right? But you can't do both, right? Or if you do both, you're gonna get the fucking hate. All right, so like Akash Singh isn't trying to be a fucking influencer. He's trying to be a comedian, and that's it. Okay, right? You are trying to be everything. You're trying to be a good housewife. You're trying to be a fucking you're trying to be a funny man, a funny woman. You're trying to be a fucking influencer. Like, you need to pick your lane before you decide what it is that you want to do.
I don't care. Like, I think it's a funny joke, but it's like, if I say something that's equally, raunchy, like, then I'm a whore or all these things.
I mean, the way she's dressed though, like, I mean, like, she's showing a lot of skin for someone who's trying to now whitewash her reputation. Okay, and look, man, if that's the image you want to go for, right? But then, like, don't be surprised when people call you a whore, right? Like, I don't give a fuck about what she wears, right? But I'm just pointing out, right? Like, a lot of men, a lot of people, a lot of women would look at her and be like, oh no, she's dressed like a fucking slut here, right? And then but don't complain about it. Okay, like, if you're gonna fucking show skin, you're gonna get the haters. Okay, so accept the haters, because realize that if you do have haters, you're doing something right in the world. Okay, if you got haters, there'll be also people on the other side ready to support you, ready to love you, and that is who I'm looking for. I'm looking for the like-minded people who love my shit. Okay, they think that, yeah, this guy gets it, this guy knows what he's talking about, and I want more haters, right? Because the more haters that you generate, the more likely you are to find the good people in your life. Okay, that is how the world works. The world needs to be balanced, and we are collecting great friends to take over the world.
Things when it's like, but the reality is what the reality is. It's like, I was a virgin when I met my husband. We lost.
By the way, like what, like this became another thing, right? Like, so she was saying that she was sucking dick and popping a pussy, right? But she's a virgin. And the thing about this, the whole thing was like, I think the beef started that Akash was so proud that him and his wife were virgins, but they got into their when they became a married couple, right? That they waited until marriage to lose their virginity to each other. Fair enough, right? Like, but I don't get why do you have to fucking say that? Like, just keep it private between yourselves. It's like, oh yeah, like me, like I don't know anybody else ever that, you know, literally says this. Okay, like, does it matter that you were virgin? Like, because by making it a point, you're now saying that, oh, if you don't marry a virgin, if you don't lose your virginity on your wedding night, that thing is less, right? So you literally kind of putting down people who have had premarital sex. Okay, so you and your husband kind of look down on those people in a way, but then you also want to be part of their little crew where you're able to talk about sexual experiences that you had before you were married. So like what do you want to do? Like, do you want to be in this virgin territory, like, yeah, oh yeah, you know, it's just me and my husband, no other sexual experiences before, but then you'll also suck dick, you know, in white boy frat houses? Like you're all over the place. It's like, what you're trying to do is like, look, it doesn't matter what you did. If you fucked a fucking 1,000 guys before, it's your business, okay, right? But don't try to play off a fucking virgin and then also want to be friends with all the cool kids who've had premarital sex. It's like you're all over the place with how you are portraying yourself.
Lost our virginity to each other, and I never made that a part of my identity.
It seems like you are, though. You like, because the whole beef with Akash and Myron Gaines came from the fact that he was so proud of his wife being a fucking virgin, and then when he came across all the shit that she was talking about, which contradicts you being a virgin, by the way, it just gave him ammunition to come after you and your husband, right? So that is why this whole thing became a storm, a media storm, an internet storm. This is why you were at the back end of all this backlash.
Shared that because I share my life story because I'm an oversharer. Y'all made it a part of.
First of all, like, she's a nobody before this internet drama, right? She was a nobody. She made a few TikToks or whatever, right? So nobody cares about your life story, right? So, but then when you're saying contradictory things, people are going to question you, right? Like, I can't come on here and being like, I love all races, but, you know, like, you know, scream fucking, you know, do hard Hitler salutes. Do you get what I mean? Like, you can't, I can't be a white supremacist and then also, you know, try to be all nice or racist. Okay, like there has to be, you know, like there has to be a congruency to what you're saying, right? You can't just pick and choose, you know, what you're doing unless you are a comedian, right? Unless the best thing she can do is, right, be like, hey, look, man, I'm going to become a stand-up comedian, right? And then I want to see her, you know, in Austin at the Mothership. I want to see her at the Comedy Cellar. I want to see her do all these, you know, great comedy shows and see what she's about when she is on stage.
My identity, and then used it against me. I don't give a fuck if I was a virgin or I wasn't, or if my body count was 100. But
if she doesn't give a fuck, then why does she keep harping on about being a virgin? Like, why bring it up? Oh, I'm a virgin, but I don't care about it. Like, you are all over the place.
it wasn't. Those are just facts. So if you want to take like tongue-in-cheek videos and make it into something it's not, like, that's not really a reflection of me. That's a reflection of them.
It's not. It's literally a reflection of you because you're the one putting this content out there, okay? You're the one giving people ammunition. It's like, look, you handed people over a loaded gun, right? And then, you know, you're surprised that they fucking shot you, right? Like, what did you expect people to do with information
And
like
I
that?
think, moreover, what people don't realize, like, I don't even want to say his fucking name, but this fucking loser whose name you said, like, he was on the Flagrant podcast like 5 fucking years ago. And my husband just humbled the shit out of him and basically embarrassed him because he was like, I think what you do is corny.
So she admits that Akash humbled and What did she just say? Let me just get the exact wording.
Of my identity. I only it's not really a reflection of me, that's a reflection of them. And I think moreover, what people don't realize, like, I don't even want to say his fucking name, but this fucking loser whose name you said, like, he was on the Flagrant podcast like 5 fucking years ago. And my husband just humbled the shit out of him and basically embarrassed him.
Okay, humbled the shit out of him and embarrassed him, right? So if you do reputational damage to somebody like that, they're going to come after you. Do you get what I mean? And then you're the one who gave him the ammunition to come after your husband. So then, like, why are you so surprised? If that is how you see it, that he humbled and embarrassed him, there's going to be backlash, right? And Myron waited and waited and waited, right? And he probably forgot about who the fuck Akash was at that moment. And then you pop up with saying the craziest and wildest shit. And then he took it, right? Made a little video about it. And then the internet took it. And, you know, they literally, you know, it spread like wildfire. Okay. Like, so don't play like a fucking victim, because you're saying that, you know, that Akash kind of threw the first punch here at Myron. So Myron was waiting this whole time to do it, right? That is literally, like, that is how the fucking world works. So I'm not sure why she's so surprised.
Because he was like, I think what you do is corny and it's not really helping men. So there's that. And I think every year he would try to like bait them by being like, oh, you guys are pussies or you guys are this. But then every year that clip would circulate. And I think deep down it really embarrassed and humiliated and emasculated him.
Great. Okay. So embarrassed, humiliated, and emasculated him, right? And then, you know, he had to take it on the chin for 5 years, right? Which you're okay with that, right? But you're not okay with people coming after you same way that people came at him, probably. Like, you know, I don't know the ins and outs of that thing that she's talking about, what he had to deal with, but like, you're both at the opposite ends of the whole beef, right? So, but the same shit is happening to each other, and then you don't like the fact that now you're on the receiving end. It is very weird.
So when all of this first started, it was like very clear to see that there was like a lot of bot farming as well. And I could tell there were bots because like the 1,500 followers I gained on Instagram, I immediately lost like within the span of 2 months. So it was like up and then down. And then like all the nastiest comments on my Instagram videos that I didn't even delete, like a month later, it was all no, 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 no. So it was like, it was starting to become clear that there were like a lot of bots, which is funny because they say very racist things against Indians and South Asians, but like, that's where you get your bots. Yeah. And there was something else I was going to say, but I think that's why people were saying, oh, it's PR, it's PR. Like I would never, and my husband would never like have to do anything for PR. Like all of the traffic I got was organic before that. So I think he had like a score to settle, but instead of like doing it like a man, he did it like a little bitch and like came at me. So, which I never really thought anyone would do, because it's also like, if you have a certain like ideal of like, you don't want women working and you don't want that, like, wouldn't I fit your ideal? Like I'm relying on my man to provide for me. So I don't know. I just, a lot of their logic is backwards to me, but yeah, the whole experience was like very weird and unsettling. But my mom, like I was really happy that we ended up going to India at the time that we did, because we went to their Barsai, which is the holiest Sikh temple. And I was with my mom, and she's just like my rock in my center, and she's just so spiritually aligned. And I've talked about this before, but she's gone through like significant trauma in her life. So just hearing her perspective, I'm like, this actually isn't that bad. Like, of course, like I don't want people to talk about me like in this way, but like, who the fuck really cares? Like, if you know about me, cool. If it's because of this, oh well. Like,
is your mom cognizant of like everything that was going on in the internet at that time?
She knew everything.
Really?
I didn't tell her personally, but like my sister Manu, thanks Manu, she was like, I told mama about the popping pussy thing, and I was like,
I mean, imagine hearing that, you know, from your daughter, like, oh yeah, like she's going wild internet because she was popping a pussy. Like that's the last thing that she wanted to hear. And like she keeps bringing up this word trauma. Look, man, everybody goes through tough shit, right? Some people have worse shit in their life that they go through. you can't just blame everything on fucking trauma. It's like there comes a point in your life where you have to take fucking you have to take responsibility for everything that's happened, even the shit, even the worst shit that's happened to you that you had no control over. You kind of got to own it at some stage, okay? And if you don't, then you're always going to blame other people. You're going to always blame external circumstances, and I think that's a lot of the thing that with why people don't like her, because she doesn't take any responsibility, because she doesn't take any accountability for anything that she does, right? But she's willing to be the main character, which was, by the way, the name of her podcast, right? Main character energy or something. But speaking of a podcast, let's get to the point where she said that she doesn't even speak to her co-host anymore.
I knew. And she's like, she doesn't care. But she knew, and she unwell the comment section has become and what a cesspool has become. And like, I will just be scrolling on Instagram and just see someone, like I saw the other day, this girl was like, oh, trying to become a model or something, or trying to get scouted as a model. And the first comment is like, yeah, but your face card isn't there. And it's like, who in their mind thinks like, this is what I want to write, like,
she's also comes across to be somebody who wants to just focus on the negative. Like, I mean, for every bad comment that you get, you also find a nice comment straight underneath. So, you have to be able to look and filter out the positivity in the world. That is what we are all about. We are here into curating our own realities. We are going through life, making sure that we see the things that we want to see, live the life that we want to live. Okay, that is what we're all about. We are here to win.
Ruin this person's day because it'll make me feel better. Like, I personally, there's a lot of celebrities I don't like. I've never gone out of my way to publicly comment, whether it's on mine or a burner. I don't even have a burner. So
why did she mention a burner? She doesn't have a burner, but she mentioned it. Was it a Freudian slip?
it's like you have to think about like the severity of someone's mental health, that this makes them feel better, So I stopped taking the comments.
Even the way she talks, like the way, like, she's got her hands in hair and the way I talk, blah, blah, blah. It's like, like she is the main character in her movie. She is the main point of her reality. Okay. So she isn't able to have that. She pretends to be a very empathetic person, but I don't think she has the capability of being very empathetic, because it seems all very self-centered. It seems all very narcissistic. And the reason why she wanted to be famous as well, not only was she trying to compete with her husband, I believe, because she keeps mentioning this word trauma. Okay, this is the psychological breakdown of this episode. That I believe, that she doesn't feel very secure, not in herself. She doesn't feel very secure in life, right? Even though she's got all these financially she's sorted out, right? Because her husband's rich. Even though she's all secure in those aspects, she's not secure in her community, right? Which is why she is then online seeking a new community to find fans and followers to take care of her. And I don't mean take care of her in terms of money, as in positive support. So I feel like she's a person who doesn't actually have a lot of positivity and positive support. I'm sure she will say she's got a loving family. I bet you she's the type of girl that she gets a friend and they don't stick around for very long because of her narcissistic tendencies. But then she'll blame it on the other person.
Section as objectivity, because I'm like, I can't trust it anymore. It's like, it's not legitimate,
Even like, even when I posted what I posted about like your whole
in Secaucus, we had to move out of Manhattan because it was too,
how important and how powerful it is to have a woman that's,
oh, can we get a picture of you, or can we get a picture with you? And again, like at this, I know
a lot more joys to come out of, right? Like that new stuff. Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah.
So we just became friends. It makes me sad because.
Okay, so this is the part where she talks about her co-host now. Because they're not together, they're not friends anymore.
A lot more joys to come out of, right? Like that new stuff. Yeah, it's amazing. I want to ask, because I'm genuinely invested.
Yeah.
What's going on with the podcast?
Okay, so I'll just tell you guys, full full honesty time. It makes me sad because with Nahal, we became friends so quickly, and I have like a lot of respect.
That's a red flag, first of all. Like if you become friends with somebody too quick, meaning that she needs a friend to fill the void in her life, right? So she needs somebody to become friends with. So she's the type of person that becomes friends with women and people just in general very easily. But she's also somebody who can't keep those friends around. Okay, and is that because of who she is as a person?
For her, and like I've met her family and like her husband and her in-laws, so I don't want to say anything shitty about her, and I won't. But I think, like, you know, like the first
She doesn't want to say anything shitty, and she won't, but she wants to. You know, she wants to say something shitty right now. Okay, that is
night, the first time we went out to dinner, she pitched the idea of doing a podcast with me, and I was.
That's odd, isn't it? Like the first time you go out to dinner with somebody is like you pitch my idea to do a fucking podcast. Like that is fucking weird, isn't it? Like, isn't that a red flag already? Isn't that very strange? The first time you go out for dinner, somebody says, let's do a podcast together.
It's like, oh, okay, like I didn't expect that. And I was a little bit unsure at first just because I know sometimes female relationships can be tricky.
You guys didn't have a relationship prior to all of this.
She knows female relationships can be tricky because she has a lot of tricky female relationships.
No.
Okay.
So they became friends just to make this podcast. I mean, that is fucking odd, isn't it? That is so odd. And then she went on the podcast saying that she wants to suck her co-host fucking dick. No wonder they're not friends anymore. Like, no wonder that their relationship they fell out.
Became friends like pretty quickly, and then
we just became friends very quickly. That is so weird.
She wanted to do the podcast, and I was a little bit unsure, but then I talked to my husband about it. He was like, why not? You've always wanted to try it.
Her husband's like, yeah, anything to get you out of the fucking house doing something other than fucking spending his money, right? So she was probably happy. He was probably happy that she was just fucking out, doing something and not pissing him off.
And we just became friends so quickly in this path of creating Main Character Podcast, which was her idea, which is an amazing name. And I think what happened was that we went through controversy so quickly into it that it kind of like put a strain on the friendship, because also like our content was very different in this.
Basically what happened was when they started going viral for the controversy that she mentioned, right? A lot of that, her co-host Neha, whatever her name, let's call her Neha, okay? What her actual friends and family said was like, why is she talking about sucking your husband's dick? Like, isn't that a bit weird? And they got into her head, and then she kind of realized, like, yeah, it is a bit weird the way you're fucking acting, saying shit about my husband, okay? Which is why they fell out. Right, because if they were genuine friends, like Jasleen needed that support in that moment, okay, but she didn't get it because she was acting weird towards her husband. The way she was looking at him, saying that she wants to have an orgy, and she kind of just wants to have the orgy with the co-host's husband, and wish Akash wasn't there, like talking about his fucking penis. It's very, very odd. Okay, that is the thing with Jasleen. She hasn't learned her lesson. She's still as insufferable as before. She still is as narcissistic as before. She has not learned any lessons whatsoever, and she will become the gift that keeps on giving. Okay, many people will find, but no, this isn't to hate on her. I'm just saying that you're gonna make so many people happy, right? So many people will find joy in your content, okay? Because it is very unique. It's very, it's just wild, okay? And people love wild shit. So please carry on. And we wish you all the best, right? But that is it for today, okay? If you want to, not be around haters, as Jasleen is, if you want to be around your people, the people that you are most suited to, if you want to become a subject matter expert, okay, if you want to join the Amichis, the Royal Instinct, the Royal Alliance of Kings that I'm forming here, if you want to become a king, okay, let me know let's join forces, let's fight a good fight, let's beat the evil people in the world, and let's come up with the next phase of human evolution. If that sounds good to you, then let me know. Let's see if we can work together. But that is it for today. Thank you very much, and I will see you later.